Everybody, welcome to Flintlock and Fog. We are playtesting with a very special guest I have tonight with me, Carl Boothe from Master of Mazes. Carl, how are you doing
I
tonight?
am doing great. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. I think we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. I did my best to make sure this is gonna be fun. I'm a fun guy, so I think we'll be
Okay.
okay tonight. We got
All right.
a brand new storyline that I'm testing out.
Okay.
Again, this is all in beta testing, so even this I plan on making some alterations. So if you have any input on this, you just tell me. Especially if
Absolutely.
you're like, hey, that NPC, he's terrible. Get him out of here.
Okay.
I'll make notes.
I won't hold your feet to the fire if you've got bad voices.
Yeah, okay. Will be no voices, so that'll work out great.
Man after my own heart. Okay.
Yeah, and this is Carl. You're the first time we're playtesting this. This is somewhat new,
Okay.
and it's just for fun. I'm giving you a little insight. I've got a series, but they're all one shots. That's why every episode's a one shot. I'm trying to keep them within an hour because
Okay.
what I'm trying to do is build a series of them that are all somewhat connected, kind of like the MCU does with all their superheroes,
Sure.
but they're all separate stories. So
Okay.
eventually, when they're all done and finished, the campaign will be compiling of all the stories. So if you want to one shot them, you want to watch Captain America standalone, perfect. But if you want to watch all of Phase 5 all the way up to Endgame, you're more than welcome.
Okay.
So that's how this is going. So this is a part of that. Um, First we get started. You were playing a level 3. It's a pre-made character. That way, if anybody's watching this, they don't want to. I don't want them to judge you for your
Right.
stat choices. It's a pre-made character under the study of investigation at level 3. What's your character's name?
His name is Basil Mortimer.
Basil Mortimer. In the game and in the handbook, I haven't applied this. There are ethnicity stats that can be applied. I don't have them pulled up, but
Okay.
if you tell me, I'll make one up on the fly. You got Where's he from?
He is going to be from London. Uh,
Okay.
he's not really nobility, but he is a learned man. His family solidly middle class. They scraped together enough money for him to go to school, so he did get an education. And he basically found himself to have kind of a deductive mind. Kind of uh, intellectual, prone to reasoning, bookworm, just the kind that likes to sit around, smoke his pipe, and chat with other learned men and share ideas and things of that nature.
Love it. Love it. What we're gonna do, because actually the English, if you're from England or the British Isles, you do get a +1 to learn in the
Okay.
manual. So it's kind of like it's just like a race perk, but there's not races in there. Well,
Yeah.
there is race. There's one. There's one
Right.
race,
Yeah.
but ethnicity changes.
Gotcha.
One of the cool things,
Mhm.
and Carl, I hate to tell you this, we're probably going to side rain every once in a while because I'm just going to share with you some of the developments as the game, because it's under beta testing.
Gotcha.
One of the things I am thinking about doing is uh, doing a religious perk
Okay.
because at that time there's all these different diversities in London and
Right.
different things. And a lot of my friends are different things too. So I thought maybe hitting that each one of them up. Like one of my friends who's Catholic, be like, hey, make a Catholic perk. You get a plus something. One of my friends is an atheist, be like, what do you think? +1 to application and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Thought that would be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. Yeah, it gives you a little more flavor too, so I like it.
Yeah, very nice. And plus, I do a lot of, because it's London and a lot of these quests are built around this one particular church and this friar. A
Hmm.
lot of the things you run into are historic relics of the church.
Okay.
Um, this quest, I'm not going to say anymore, but this one's a little bit separate. I'll say that. Sorry. Let me spoil the end for you, Carl. Um, Perfect. So Basil Mortimer, right? Did I say that?
That's right.
Mortimer. Very cool. I actually wrote the intro for this one, whereas normally I would just tell you I'm going to try reading this. Because again, I'm the greatest DM anyone's ever met. I'm just joking. I'm going to read this out to you and we'll go and get started.
Sure.
So in the year of our Lord 1882, beneath the sullen, gaslit canopy of London's ceaseless sprawl, you find yourself drawn into a tale of woe and desperation. The city, that great leviathan of human endeavor, is tonight a labyrinth of shadows, its heart pulsing with secrets and sins, none so dark as the calamity that has befallen the noble house of Lord Reginald Haverford. You stand within the opulent confines of the Haverford house, a grand edifice in Belgravia, its walls adorned with portraits of stern forebears, and its air heavy with the scent of polished mahogany and waxen candles. The invitation to this place came not by post, nor by the hand of a weathered servant, but through the mystic machinations of Richard Van Dyke, a spiritualist of peculiar renown, whose eyes gleam with the fervor of one who's seen beyond the veil. It was also he who sought you out, that you and you alone are destined to right this grievous wrong. Next to Van Dyke stands Lord Haverford himself, a man of dignified bearing, though his countenance is marred by the ravages of despair. Thank you for coming in this late hour, Lord Haverford begins, his voice trembling. A calamity has befallen me. My children and their nanny were stolen by a ruthless gang, and Richard here has seen that you, my friend, were to answer this call. The spiritualist steps forward. He clutches a delicate umbrella, and its handle a carved duck head. Van Dyke's voice is a low rasp as he speaks of a vision. I have seen through this token of Miss Mary, he intones, and the spirits assure me the captives are alive. Eleanor, age 9, Thomas, 5, and Miss Mary herself. Yet no more do they reveal. His gaze shifts to the floor. Haverford turns to the hearth where sits a young man. Edward, bring me the note. Edward, slight of frame, with a limp from a birth defect, no doubt, stands and makes his way towards the group slowly, holding a piece of parchment. Haverford continues after snatching the note from young Edward. They demand £100 to be paid by midnight in Whitechapel's lonely square, where they'll be held in a carriage, and they insist I make the exchange alone. Young Edward speaks up. My godfather would have notified the police. Unfortunately, they are not in good favor. And bought by these scoundrels, no doubt, Haverford interrupts, loudly waving the note in the air. He turns and steps closer. It is also with despair I inform you that I am near ruin. A failed venture with my late partner, young Edward's father, has left me with only £30 to my name. When the kidnappers learn this, I fear for our lives. You must devise a plan to ensure our safety. Return my children, Miss Mary, and the £30 is yours. Van Dyke's voice cuts through the tension. The spirits guided me to you, brave soul. The hour grows late, and Whitechapel's shadows deepen. We have but 1 hour to answer this call. What do you say? Boom. Yeah, I'll keep on the bottom. All right, so here's the Haverford residence. Whoops. These are my cool little figurine characters.
Nice.
Kind of give you an idea. I would have moved them as I told the story, but again, I was clicking through because I didn't print out the right thing.
Right.
But this is all of them. This is you. You're the gold one.
Okay.
Inside of focus now. You're in the Haverford home. All right. So, any questions about what they said to you?
No, I think I've got the gist of it.
Okay. So this isn't the map that you're going to be working with, but you're in the home. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do what anything you'd like right now. But I'm going to continue this on. There's a second part, unless you have any questions about it so far.
No, I will ask one question. My Lord Haverford, where exactly were Miss Mary and the children taken?
They were actually in the park. They were out. They went to fly kites in the park, and they were snatched up from some witnesses.
Was there
Yes, the only thing that was left was the umbrella, the one that Richard Van Dyke is holding.
Okay. I would like to look at his young ward, Edward, and kind of get a feel for him. Because my mind is racing. I'm trying to put these pieces together and think who would stand to profit by ruining a man who's already fallen so low. So I'm going to kind of look at Edward and kind of try to get a feel for his emotional state. How is he feeling about these people being snatched and his father's friend being so close to financial ruin?
I'll let you. Why don't you roll a deduce?
Deduce.
Let's do a deduce. Which yours
All
is with the modifier now?
Yep.
It should be 4, right? Or is it? No,
Yep.
5.
5. Yep. So D10 and add the 5, right?
Yeah, and you're gonna need an 8, so you're gonna have to roll a 3 or above.
Okay. I rolled a 4, so I got a total of 9.
Okay, so that's a pretty good. That's pretty good. So you can kind of tell he's distraught, but he's also a little bit frustrated. But the problem with him that you can't pick up on is he frustrated because he looks like he's obviously walking around and his you picked up his father has died.
Hmm.
Um, but he's definitely not pleasant. He's not happy about this. But you don't quite understand exactly if he's upset about the kidnapping or if he's just upset in all of it. Like he's
Gotcha.
depressed would be the best way to look at it.
Gotcha.
Um, let me continue on. Uh, he, I, I was gonna. Do you want to do the quest? Because he asked you if you want to answer the call.
Oh, absolutely. I would be
Abs-
only too glad to help if I am able. And I would also forego the 30 pounds. I would only ask that
oh,
at some point in the future, if you are able, that you would sponsor me.
okay, okay. He agrees. He absolutely agrees. He's broke, so he loves this idea.
Yeah.
Um, All right, so I'm going to continue on. So after that, he says, Edward gently takes Lord Haverford's arm. Godfather, I must return home, for the hour is late, and I worry for my own. Yes, yes, my dear boy. Thank you for your attendance in this dark hour. Have the stable ready my horse before you part. Yes, Godfather, young Edward says, as he retreats hastily towards the door. He turns to you abruptly before leaving. Good fortune to you, Godspeed, he says with worried eyes as he puts on his cap and quickly exits.
Okay.
Uh, that's why I was like, well, I'm not going to give you a total. That kind of gives you a little bit more insight
Okay.
of what's about to happen. Richard will assist you. This is Lord Haverford speaks up. Says Richard will assist you in anything you need this evening. Well, from what we have left. So in that moment, Richard ushers you into his studio, his office,
Okay.
which is right here. So
Okay.
Richard here, Haverford walks off. And then he goes prepares. All right, so you are in his studio. We're gonna do something I haven't got the chance to do yet.
Okay.
Richard Van Dyke looks at you, and he's a spiritualist. He goes, "Do you believe in the afterlife,
Well, of course. I mean,
Mister Basil?
doesn't any good Christian believe in the afterlife?
Would you participate in a bit of a ritual for me, to
Certainly,
give us good fortunes?
as long as it's not something that would have me in bad standing with the church.
We won't tell anybody. How about that? Won't tell
Well,
anybody.
I'm good at keeping secrets.
Um, he's gonna read your tarot.
Okay.
You don't have to. You can tell him, no, I don't want to do this.
No,
All
I'm
right.
definitely curious.
All right, so this is how this is going to work because I haven't done this yet, but I built it into the game.
Okay.
He sits you down at the desk. You guys are at his desk, and he
Hmm.
pulls out a stack of cards. And he's going to shuffle them around, moves them around, and he's going to pull one card. And you got to roll a 1d20.
1d20. 15.
15. He pulls the devil. So the positive, which is actually, this is a great card for you. So every card has a positive and a negative,
Hmm.
but I'm not adding that to this yet because I don't
Okay.
want to run the risk of what I would normally have had you done. This is just, again, I'm going to explain the game as I'm making it. You would have flipped a coin
Hmm.
and picked heads or tails, and if it was heads, it would have been positive. If it was tails, negative, that kind of thing. And then you would have already rolled your dice. You would have got the card.
Okay.
So it would have not have. It could be negative. Sometimes you never know. You could be like, this could be good or this could be bad. The deck he's rolling with, this fortune's only going to last for the night.
Okay.
Different tarot decks work differently. So if
Okay.
it's a really cheap common tarot deck, it only works for a confrontation.
Okay.
But if there's special tarot decks that are super rare, uh,
Hmm.
permanent stat change. So it's pretty cool. But yours is
Okay.
the devil. So you have a positive 1 to all your weapon proficiencies. So any attack you do has a +1 now.
Okay.
That's number 15. So just a heads up, all of the tarot cards that I have are lined up with the dice. So whatever
Okay.
you roll is what you get for that stat. I wanted to try
That's
it. Thanks, Carl, for letting me play that. I haven't got to do that yet.
that's awesome. And it kind of adds a little bit of mysticism to the game, which I think is kind of neat.
Yeah, that spiritualism character. I haven't a lot of people play that one with me yet, because it's a little bit more complicated. Um,
Hmm.
but that one's that's fun. So I want to add that. All right, so he's all set for you. He doesn't have any items for you for anything like this. So what you have is what you're going with, unless you want to walk around and you want to explore the space, or we're gonna move on to
No,
this
no,
situation.
I'm ready to go and try to
Ready to
see
go.
what I can do to help out Lord Haverford.
I love it. All right, so the hour's getting late. Let me get rid of this. The hour's getting late, and Richard is going to take you to the center square where you're supposed to meet up.
Okay.
Let me get this prepped. So it's you, Richard, and Lord Haverford. Why does it keep doing that? Here's the town square. Oh, I'm so glad this actually looks right, because I just had this printed and I was worried it was going to be too dark.
No, it looks great.
Actually, bump this out. There's a few things I might have to point out because it is a little too dark.
Okay.
Justice. Belgravia is on the central part of London. Whitechapel's on the east. So you guys aren't on this map yet, but you're off to the side. But you're going to come from this area.
Okay.
And so you guys start talking about what the plan is, because you're supposed to devise the plan. So they're talking about they're going to come from the east, so we know the carriage is going to roll up here.
Mm-hmm.
The cops are paid off. So when we get to this situation, that's just something to keep in mind. He has to meet alone. These are just things that are going on. He has to meet them alone. Mm-hmm. He's going to do it on horseback, not a carriage, because that's what he has left. He has 30 pounds with him. He says, I'm going to give him the 30 pounds, but they're not going to like that. Richard's going to have to stay in the back because he's got to go alone. So he'll be in the periphery. I'm gonna have Richard give you something real quick. He's gonna give you. Oh man, I'm trying to think of what would be a Victorian. He's gonna give you. I want something magical. A magical flute. This is way off base.
Okay.
Whistle. We're gonna go with a whistle.
Okay.
And it's not a funny like whistle. It's just like a regular whistle. Okay. He's gonna give you a whistle. And he says, if you run into any issue, whistle, and then I'll appear. This is just a safeguard, just in case I want to add him into the situation. But he's going to stay in the back. So that's your options. So this is the gameplay area. They're going to be arriving in just a little bit. Lord Haverford's going to end up riding out, or he's going to wait. You tell him. You're in charge. You tell me what you want.
I mean, I would like him to arrive on time, or maybe just a little late. Because we'd like them to be positioned first when he rides in, because their focus will be on him. This area on the map up here, this is the fountain, I'm assuming?
This is the center fountain.
All right, what is that to the north of it? I see a barrel kind of in a corner right here.
Yep. All right, this is great because it's a little too dark to explain. There's a barrel right here, and then there's actually a grate to a sewer system.
Okay.
I'm pointing these out. I was going to have you. I tell you what. Let's roll an aware. And I'm going to explain that. And depending on how high your aware is, you have a 6. You're going to need like, you're going to want a range of 13. You're going to do a 1d10. You're going to want something around a 13. Anything below that, the less it gets. 13 score.
All right. So that is a 9 on a d10 plus
6. Oh, you nailed it. All right. So this is the area. There's a door here to a room. You don't know what that is. It's locked.
Mm-hmm.
There's a barrel here. There's a grate to a sewer system.
Mm-hmm.
There's the center fountain. This actually moves on. I tell you what. Let me do this. This will give you. Since you rolled such a high, I'm really good. All these high tech professional production. How you like this, Carl? How you like this production I got going on here?
Great.
Oh man, I wish I could move the map a little bit more. Let's see if I can get that to go higher. My maps, the ones I use, are not even that big, and I still have a hard time getting in there. So now it's even harder to see details because it's so far away. There's a carriage here.
Mm-hmm.
There's also another sewer grate right here.
Okay.
There's a crate, and then this is an exit way.
Okay.
There's a Staples here. It's open. Just let me finish it. And this is you're on this road over here off map. There's a sewer grate here.
Mm-hmm.
A box, a door, a crate with another alleyway that leads off.
Mm-hmm.
double doors, crate, and then over here, crate and sewer. You
Okay.
can't see the sewer, but it's right here.
Okay.
And then barrel, lamp, door, door, and these are just buildings with doors in them.
Okay.
Okay, now what you think?
So, what I'd like to do, if we know they're going to be coming in from this, from the eastern side of the map, coming in towards the fountain, which I'm assuming is the predetermined place where they're going to meet, that
Yep.
sewer grate that is directly up there in that dark corner next to that barrel, not the other one.
This one.
That one is. I'm going to try that sewer grate to see if it will open.
Okay. So you're coming in from this angle.
Yep.
You're
And
gonna
what
get
I,
three.
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, so
You
what
have
yeah, if I can see this sewer grate here, maybe move to that sewer grate that's on the other side of the carriage and see if I
okay.
can open that one up.
Okay. You're gonna move 3 steps. I'm gonna give you about 15 minutes before midnight. So
Okay.
that gives you a little bit of time to work with. But
Okay.
as you make it to the carriage right here, you see someone walking right here, coming
Okay.
around the corner. And
Okay.
it's a Bobby. It's a police officer.
Okay.
Now
Uh,
you're in the shadows right now, but if you want to move,
mhm.
you're gonna have to roll a sneak, but you're gonna do really well with it because he's so far away.
Okay. Yeah. Then I'm going to roll a sneak and try to avoid him since we know they've been paid off. I don't know that they're not here on the behalf of the kidnappers. So
Yep.
I will roll a sneak. And
His awareness, let me give you his awareness is 5, but to be honest, you roll what is your sneak? Let me
two.
see.
Yeah.
2.
It's not that great.
He's so far away, we're gonna drop that down to a 3. And it's dark out. None of this is lit. So
Okay.
yeah, you gotta roll like a 1 and above.
Okay, so roll to 6, so 8.
Perfect. You're sneaking. We're good to go. He's just hanging out right there for now. All right, now what did you want to do?
So basically, I'll just kind of slide around behind that carriage to where that sewer grate is,
Perfect.
and
Okay.
then check and see if that sewer grate will open.
You roll a 1d10. We're gonna add your physical. You're gonna need a 5.
Yeah, okay. So I rolled a 4, and my physical is 2.
2. Yeah. All right. So it is open. It's difficult to open, but it will open. You
Okay.
crank that thing right open.
All right, so I'm going to kind of slide it to the side, and then
Okay.
I'm going to make my way down into the sewer to see if I can navigate over here to where this other grate is, the one closer to the fountain.
You got it. You got it. Carl, you're gonna love this.
Okay.
Had all that planned out.
Okay. Nice.
I'm not covering it though.
Okay. Gotcha.
I didn't prepare to cover it. So you get a full extent of the whole sewer grate.
Okay.
Normally I would have it, but we're doing the best we can with what we got.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. There's your sewer grate.
All right.
Here, let's just pretend. There
we go. Like it.
That works.
Okay.
I'm out of focus.
Yeah. So I'm assuming little to no light down here.
None. The only light that's coming through is the street light from above.
Okay.
But this is all dark. So if you want to do anything, it's going to be difficult unless you have some kind of light. You have matches.
I've got matches, so I'm going to strike a match.
Okay.
Get my bearings, and then move in the direction that I recall that other grate being near the fountain.
Roll a navigation.
Navigation. Okay.
You're gonna need it. It's dark with a match.
Mhm.
But yeah, you're gonna need a total. You need a total of 5. We'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, just to make it fun.
All right. Roll to 7, so 8.
Perfect. You're good to go. Okay. So which grate did you want to go? The one with the barrel?
I'm going to move toward the one
You
with
tell me.
that was right behind that barrel, just kind of north of where that fountain was.
All right. You are right here.
Okay. So I will put out the match, and then I'm going to make my way up to that grate and then try to move that grate up. I'm going to look, before I move it, I'm going to look to see if I see or hear that Bobby nearby.
Okay. I tell you what, roll. I tell you what, you're going to roll listen. You're going to need a 6 total.
6. Okay. Well, that will be the first failure of the night. I rolled a 2, so that's only a 4.
Okay. Fail. So you can't hear anything.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that if I don't hear anything, that means the Bobby's moved off. So
Yes.
I'm going to kind of lift up on that grate, kind of slowly, quietly, because I don't know how far out these kidnappers are, and try to see if I can get that grate open.
I'm just gonna do a switcheroo real quick.
Okay.
I like this. I like where we're going. All right. I'm not gonna have you roll. I'm gonna say you opened the grate. You did fine. This one's a lot looser.
Okay.
It makes a little bit of noise, but it does not alert the police.
Okay.
And you notice that he is in this corner now.
Okay. All right. So close by. So I'm assuming that where I'm at's kind of in shadow, just based off the map.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
you're
I'm
right over here. You're pretty hidden. You're still in sneak mode.
yeah.
I'll let you keep that.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of move that grate quietly, like lean it up against the wall behind the barrel so it can't be
Okay.
seen. Because what I'd like to do is have that open so I have a way of escaping. And if I could escape with the children and the nanny, that would be the route
Yeah.
I would take. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait right there, just kind of below, just kind of have my head just kind of peek up where I can kind of see what's going on, but not really kind of exposing myself. So I can wait and see what happens when the kidnappers arrive.
I love it. Okay. The time passes, and he is going to actually walk to over here.
Okay.
I'm going to have you roll a hide against his aware because he's getting a little bit closer.
Okay.
You're going to, yeah, he's getting closer, but still pretty dark. So you're going to need a total of 4. You have
4.
a 1 hide, so you'll just need a 3 and you're up.
So that is a 5. So 6.
Yeah, you're hide. Okay, so you're hide. You're hidden. He walks by. He walks out of sight, so you can't see what he's doing over here.
Okay.
But then he reappears right about here.
Okay.
He's doing a little stroll. Looks like he's looks like he's patrolling.
Okay.
And then right about this point in time, a carriage comes. All right, Carl, I don't have cool figurines, so we're just doing with what we got, okay?
You know what? That's what we do at my table. If I don't have a
Perfect.
figurine for it, I put down a rock and there you go, or a dice. Or
Boom.
that's
That's
a
what we're
horse.
doing.
It's a horse.
Yeah, but that carriage is not a carriage. You know how hard it is trying to find me a carriage?
From above, it looks like a wagon. So
That's all I need. That's all I need. The wagon pulls up and stops as the police officer pulls up to the window.
okay.
This horse does not. We're switching horses.
Yeah, we're gonna switch horse. That horse is just laying down on the job.
Yeah,
There
for
we
real.
go.
I like that. There is obviously a guy manning the carriage, but there's also it's an enclosed carriage. It's all black, so you can't see inside of it. And
Okay.
he's speaking to something inside the carriage. You can roll a listen, but you're gonna need a 9 if you want to eavesdrop on this conversation.
I'll give it a shot. Why not? Yep, that's a no. That will be a 5 total.
5 total. Okay, yeah. You can't hear what he says. You can't hear any of the conversation.
Okay.
But he moves over to this side and lets the carriage pull forward.
Mm-hmm.
Now the horse is facing you, and the carriage is like this.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything?
I'm going to sit tight and see what happens, what this driver's doing. Is he going to get down? I'm wanting to see if he's the only one there or if there might be somebody inside the carriage with the children and the nanny, if they're even in the carriage.
You got it. Okay, you're going to sit tight. And at that moment, Lord Haverford does appear on his horse, the one that falls down.
Yep.
Come on now.
Drunk horse.
For real. Oh, wrong guy. I'll tell you a story about these little guys too, by the way.
Okay.
Later on. I won't do that. I won't bore you now with the misadventures of 1/64th characters.
Yep.
Anyway, so he gets off his horse.
Mm-hmm.
The carriage rider does hop down and he opens the door.
Okay.
And out steps another character.
Okay.
Now the police officer is moving back over here. He's beginning to walk around the backside.
Okay.
So he's right here. I'm going to keep going. You tell me when you want to stop.
Okay. When who opens the door to the carriage? Is the gentleman that exited
driver.
the carriage? So the driver did open the carriage door.
Driver
okay.
did. Yeah.
I don't really see or hear any other movement coming from the carriage.
Mm-mm.
Okay. And the police officer's on the other side of the carriage near the corner. All right, I'm going to set tight for a second and see what the exchange is between these two figures and Lord Haverford.
Okay. All right, so one of them begins to move forward. He stands right here at the middle of the pond. Lord Haverford walks up, and he has a bag in hand, obviously the one that was, and he's having a conversation with him.
Okay.
Do you want to roll? See if you can roll for a listen.
Okay.
You're gonna need a 7.
Well, I rolled a 10.
Boom. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna tell you everything. I'm gonna tell you his inner thoughts, Carl.
Oh, wow.
You're gonna hear his brain.
Okay.
So they're having a conversation, and it's just like you would suspect. It says, "We
Mhm.
have your nanny and your children. We're looking for payment. We need the £100." Lord Haverford is kind of dancing around. He doesn't really know where you are, but you can see his eyes shift like all around. He's very nervous, and so he's gonna assume he's just gonna give him the money. He's like, "Well, I have it all right here." He's pulling a Hail Mary. And
Okay.
he's, I have all of it right here, but I want to see my kids. I need to know that they're alive. I need to know they're fine.
Okay.
So he signals to this guy, and
Mhm.
this guy opens the door and pulls out a young nanny and 2 children. Um, they're the size of adults in my figurines, but just imagine that top down, they're children.
From overhead, they look like kids to me.
Yeah. He goes around and he pulls them out the backside. And
Okay.
so they're standing, he walks, I'm sorry, these guys will not stay up. He walks them around to this side of the carriage.
Okay. And the
So now
Bobby's
they're
still
standing
playing
there.
and doesn't really seem to be paying any attention.
No, he's staying there keeping an eye on this whole thing. Because even like Lord Haverford said, he's probably bought off. So he's probably not a good guy. Matter of fact, let's go and switch him out. I apologize. That was my fault. He should be red.
Okay.
I figured you get the gist. Blue is
Yeah.
good, red is bad. Yeah.
Sure.
These are the children, the blue's the nanny. This guy has a knife to the nanny. I'm gonna let you. That's all I'm gonna give you to see. If you want to see more, you have to do a spot,
Yeah. Let me do a spot then.
and you can see through the backside. Well, dang it. What's your spot? That
So I
determines what it.
rolled a
That's right.
7, and my spot is 3.
Okay, 10. Oh, that's perfect. So yeah, so you can see he has a knife to the nanny. He also has a gun, a small revolver in the back behind his shirt.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you even though you're spotting this section, I'm gonna give you a little insight on the Bobby. He has a baton, but he also has a gun in his pocket, but he's holding the baton out, so it's not readily available at this point in time.
Okay.
The carriage door was left open. This side of the carriage door was left open.
Okay.
And now he's holding a knife to the nanny, and the kids are huddled underneath her.
Okay.
So that's where we're at right now. Do you want to do anything else?
So what I would like to do, are they moving or are they just kind of standing there where he's just kind of
He's
displaying?
showing them. He's
Okay.
displaying them. That's why you can tell he's
All
displaying.
right. So with the horse there, the horse is kind of in between me and the Bobby. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to want to slide out of my hiding
Okay.
spot, utilizing that shadow, and try to use the horse to block the line of sight, kind of staying low, use the horse to block the line of sight to the Bobby. The carriage should block the line of sight to
To
the
these guys.
the one kidnapper and those people there.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that this gentleman's attention is either on Lord Haverford
Yes.
or on, yeah. So I'm going to try to slide past the horse and get right up beside that wagon, staying low. If I can, maybe get under the wagon so that I can use that as cover and get closer to the man that is holding the knife to the nanny's throat.
Okay. Yeah. I'll tell you what. You roll a sneak and make it easy. You got to get a 5 or above.
Okay. Sneak. All right. Well, I just did get a 5. 3 on the dice for plus 2, 5.
Perfect. Okay, so you got an 8 total. You're doing a great job. You sneak against both their perceptions are not that high anyway, so that's perfect. So I'm gonna give you to right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna have you. I'm sorry. I'm trying to decide if I want Haverford to do anything obnoxious.
Okay.
No, he's looking at you, and he's not sure what's about to happen, but he's got a worried face on. You're successfully underneath the carriage.
Okay. All right. So what I'd like to do, once I'm under that carriage, is, I don't want to really press my luck. I'm an intellectual, not a fighter. I'm going to look for a loose stone or something that might be, because this is cobblestone, I'm assuming with England. I'm
Yeah,
gonna look for something like a small loose stone or something in the cobblestone, or maybe a piece of debris or something I could grab.
I love it. Roll a search. This is another easy one, 4 and above, which I think your search might. Yeah, it'll be easy.
Okay.
Yeah, 1. So you got to roll above a 1. So 2 and up.
I rolled a 3, so
Perfect. So you find a medium-sized stone about the size of an apple.
okay. What I would like to do with that stone is throw that in this corner where the bobby is,
Yeah,
back past that light up here in the corner,
like right up here.
right up in that area somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. Your throw. Let me see what your throw is. It's a 1. Roll a 1d20 with the stone throw. And you're underneath a carriage, but it's not far.
Okay.
It's not far. You got a better than 50-50.
Okay.
So let's go with a 6. Look, yeah, 6 is a threshold. That'll
Okay.
work.
Rolled a 5, and you said stone throw.
No, that's fine. Your throw
Oh,
was
just plus.
+1. Yeah, +1. So 5 plus a 6, which was about the threshold. So yeah, you nail it right into that corner.
Okay.
The stone bounces off the ground a few times and then hits there's actually a door right there.
Mhm.
Knocks against the door and bounces off.
Okay.
This does alert the Bobby,
Okay.
and he definitely doesn't understand what happened. So he's already on high alert. So he turns and immediately looks over here. Now this is a somewhat well lit area because of the lantern.
Mhm.
So he's not sure, but so he pulls his gun from his hip and
Okay.
begins to slowly walk around here to look behind the barrel and to
Okay.
look over here. And the horse is so drunk I fell over again.
All over. Distracts everyone. Okay.
All right. At this moment in time, you hear shouting coming from this particular area.
Okay. I'm assuming that will draw the attention of the man holding Miss Mary. I'm going to slide around out from under the wagon, behind the children, and try to get into a position behind that kidnapper.
Okay, we're still not quite in a confrontation, so I'm gonna let you do all of those moves. Let's have you roll a sneak on that one though.
Sneak. Okay.
Yeah, because you're in a little bit more of a lit area.
All right.
So let's get a 6 and up.
Okay. I rolled a 4, and my sneak is +2.
Who I'm gonna let you succeed with that one. I would have normally been 7, but because there's kids and this guy's shouting, this guy's walking away. You are successful. So you are behind him. I should have these placed in the right spot. Everybody's falling over. He's behind her, and the kids are obviously in front.
Okay.
And so now you are right behind him. What would you like to do?
I'm
Now hold on. No, shouting and shoving has begun pushed. So
okay.
Haverford has been pushed to the ground at this point in time.
Okay. I'm going to come up behind the kidnapper with my Cooper pocket revolver, and I'm going to put it to the back of his head and tell him to drop the knife, or he'll meet his maker.
I love it. You are gonna do.
And
Your persuade is
I'm going to use my negotiation and try to
okay.
get him to drop his weapon.
I like that. I was about to say you have that, or you can use persuade. Negotiation. What is the negotiation?
Okay. I'm going to say, okay, ne'er do well. You have but one moment and one moment alone to drop that weapon and free that woman, or you will meet your maker this very night. I promise you.
Do you? I have a question, real quick. Is the gun to the back of his head, or did you touch the back of his head with the gun?
I didn't touch the back of his head with it. It'll be pointed, a couple inches away.
So, but he knows it's there.
Oh yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm assuming this is a double action revolver. So as I pull it out of as I put it up near his head,
Yeah.
I'll pull back the hammer.
Gotcha. It is a pocket revolver, so it's small, but it's a loud enough click to where he hears it. I like that. His willpower is 10. What's your negotiation?
Negotiation is 3.
It's a psych. It's a psychological. Yeah, it's 3.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna lower his willpower
Okay.
by 1 point.
Okay.
With the sound of the revolver. I think that's a nice little touch. So it's a 9. So you're gonna need with your 3, you're gonna need a 7 and up.
Okay.
With the D20.
D20. Oh, D20.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're in confrontation mode. We're fighting now. So
Okay.
we're D20s.
On the D20, I got an 18.
Okay, perfect. He drops his weapon. He drops it. Completely doesn't even bend over, just like throws it out away from him.
Okay. I am
So,
going to tell Miss Mary. I'm going to tell him to get on the ground, and I'm going to tell Miss Mary take the children and get in the carriage quickly.
okay, he's getting down on the ground, but as he kneels down, he reaches for the revolver around his pocket. Now we're in a confrontation mode, so I'm going to let him take this turn. He gets two actions.
Sure.
I'm going to have him use one action to move and kneel, and then the other action to pull the revolver.
Okay.
Um, no, man, that's him kneeling and pulling a revolver might be one action. I'm just going to lower his attack ability because it's one movement.
Okay.
So he's going to kneel, pull the revolver, and he's going to fire it at you.
Okay.
Where is this at? So, all right. So he's not very proficient. He's a low level, so this won't be too difficult. It's a 2 versus your Constitution. What's your Constitution?
My Constitution is a 10.
10. All right. So I got a 9 above. Yeah, 10. Yeah, 9 above. Yeah, whatever. I got a 6. So he fires, but completely misses. Grazes your side. Okay. The kids. I'm gonna go in this rotation.
Okay.
The kids begin to move.
Okay.
But they hear the gunshot, so they move forward. They're scared. The
Yeah.
nanny does the same because she's going after the kids. Now it's your turn.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I am going to put myself between the children and this gentleman with the gun, and I will fire. I will. Can I do that and pull the whistle as one action, or will that be two actions?
That'll be two actions.
Okay.
That'll
So
be two
then I'll
actions.
hold off on the whistle for now. I
Okay.
will fire my revolver at him.
Okay. Let's go. His Constitution is a 9.
Okay. I'm
But
going to.
you are super close. This is like point blank. We're gonna
So,
drop that to an 8 because
all
you
right.
move
I'm also
closer
going to
between them.
aim. I'm going to aim, so that gives me a +3 to my attack. Correct?
But you also moved
Okay.
between the two, so that would have
Okay.
been one of your actions.
Okay.
So
So aim
aim.
is an
Oh,
action.
so aim is an action. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah,
Okay.
aim's an
Not a
action.
problem. Then I'll just move, and then I will shoot. So
And what is it again? Your small
uh,
project. Your attack is 3, right?
it's a 3.
3 versus constant, and I dropped it because it's point blank. His Constitution's 8. Get a 5 or up with a D20, and you got
Okay. 13 on the D20.
13. All right, you got him. You got him good. Matter of fact, it's so point blank. Do you have? We're gonna say you did a lot more damage. Point blank's hard just to say it's the same as just being shot.
Right.
And it's 5 damage on top of that. So let's add 3 damage to being point blank.
Okay.
All right, 5, 3. All right, he's down to 7. Oh, I'm gonna keep that secret.
Okay.
I mean, I just told you it's 7 hit points right now.
Okay. And
Um,
I'll just shout it. I'll shout at Mary. Quickly, get the children in the carriage.
the shot. I like that. Let's go. And there. So it's his turn now. This
Mhm.
guy's heard the gunshot.
Right.
Let's move him. I'll move him 1. He's obviously turned, and now he's trying to figure out what's going on over here. This guy is going to what gun is he? Has a gas or revolver. So he can get another shot off of you. He's been hit though, so he's gonna actually move over to here
Okay.
behind the crate.
Okay.
It's not enough for him to take cover. I didn't explain take cover, but
Mhm.
we're not gonna deal with that right now.
Okay.
It's a cool move where you can use an action to actually take cover and block yourself. It raises your constitution against projectiles.
Okay.
He's not going to quite do that. He's just going to move over here behind this, and he's going to fire back at you.
Okay.
But he's distanced himself, so he doesn't get the advantage to Constitution. What is yours? Is a 10,
Yes.
and his is a 2, so I got to get a 9 above. Same thing. Crap. Hold on. Let me move this out of the way. I'll do this so you can see without knocking anybody over. 15. He hits.
Okay.
So you take gas revolvers 5 damage. So
Okay.
he shoots you, and you're 5 damage down. So you're hit.
Okay.
Mary's turn. Kids run over this direction along with Mary. This guy's I'm gonna let him stay. Matter of fact, he's gonna back up a little bit because he's a little nervous about you.
Okay.
And this guy's gonna move towards you 3 turns. So he's right up on you. All right,
Okay.
your turn.
All right. I am going to move after marrying the children so that I
Okay.
can kind of put that carriage between me and my assailants.
Love it.
And I'm assuming that I can see the gentleman who shot at me that was cowering in the cover there.
Yeah, he's harder to hit now because he is ducking
Okay.
over here. He's not taking cover, but he's over behind. Half of his body's covered up.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell Mary quickly to the sewer grate straight ahead. It's
Okay.
open. Get the children in. And I'm
I'm
going
not.
to kind
That's
of,
not an action.
yeah, instead of shooting,
Yep.
I'm going to I'm going to shoot them kind of in that direction. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to point the revolver back in the direction of this guy to see if I can get him to kind of duck, take cover.
This guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I tell you what, you're gonna roll an intimidate.
Okay.
With the gun. Add the gun is gonna add 3 to your intimidate. Roll a 1d10. You need to get above his will, which is 8. So
Okay.
you're gonna need a what is that?
Yeah.
3
My
plus
intimidate is 0. You said the gun adds what?
3.
3. Okay. And
Um
rolled a 7, so 10.
3, 10, perfect. Okay. Yeah. So he's intimidated. He ducks down.
Okay.
So now he ducks down behind there.
Okay. And
Takes
I'm
cover.
just basically pushing Mary and the children straight ahead, straight next to the barrel.
Okay. I'm not gonna count that as a turn, so you get another one.
Okay. I will move past them if they're not moving quickly enough and kind of point to where I'm indicating them for them to go.
Okay. Their turns. It's in a rotation, so they will move.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. They're gonna. I'll have them move. I know it's simultaneously, but it'll be this guy's turn next,
Okay.
and then this guy's turn next.
Gotcha.
So is there anything else in it? Actually, I tell you what. I'm gonna go ahead and take their turn and move them because this is not. It's not gonna matter.
Yep.
They can move 2 spaces. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have them at the sewer grate, but not quite in it yet.
Okay.
So they're all right there. Now, where would you like to do? Go
I'd like to
follow 'em?
move closer to them,
Okay.
using the carriage and the fountain as kind of cover from the 2
I love
directions.
it. Perfect. You're in a great spot. This guy can't see you. This guy can't see you. The only person you've got to worry about now is him.
Okay.
I'm going to have him move for his turn, but he's going to move and take cover behind the carriage right here.
Gotcha.
This guy is already taking cover, so I'm going to have him stay there because he's already been shot.
Right.
And then this guy is yelling at them to he yells to the guy by the carriage. I'm gonna let you hear this part, so I'm gonna have you roll listen. Let him go. Let him go. He yells that.
All right.
At this point in time, Haverford stands up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have Haverford stand up,
Maybe.
and he's gonna pull a gun. So he pulls a gun. So that's his 2 turns.
Okay.
The horse, by the way, the gunshots. I forgot to say this. The horse have ran off.
Makes sense.
Yeah, this horse is stayed because I forgot.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Right.
he's kind of attached to that carriage and facing a wall. So
Yeah. He's not. He's restless. We'll say that restless, but he didn't go nowhere. All right. So now it's your turn again.
okay. So now, according to Richard, when he gave me the whistle, he said if I blew that whistle, he would come to me. Or,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he'd come to you.
Okay.
So it's basically like a call. Yeah. So if you blow it, he'll come. I'll give him. I mean, he's not a ninja by any means, but I'll
Right.
have him come through this area over here. So
Okay.
he's close by watching.
Right.
To be honest, Carl, I didn't know how much I wanted him to play a part in this.
Right. Right.
If you were, he was kind of just because because it's still beta testing. I'm working math out.
Right.
If 3 was too much overpowering,
Mhm.
I would have had him pop up.
Right. Right.
So that he was kind of like my safeguard against my bad math. That's
Right.
what that would have been.
Well, the good thing about this, if you get shot, I mean, it does a significant amount of damage.
Yeah.
And the thing that's different in D&D 5e is there you get that kind of immortality complex, because you can rest to get all your hit points back. This is kind of a more realistic, more gritty.
Yeah.
So you get hit, most people are going to take cover. That's just realistic. You're not going to charge into the guns.
No.
So what I'm going to do if I see that Haverford has pulled a gun, and I'm assuming he's holding on the guy who's
Yeah.
this gentleman facing, or you said he was talking to the police officer. He's turned his back to Haverford.
He's turned his back. So Haverford is behind him. He used his turn to get up and he pulled his gun, but those are his only two actions.
Okay. So what I will do is I will urge them to go down into the sewer, and then I will move up there and take the barrel for cover if I can move that far. If
Okay.
not, I will be right next to the barrel once they've gone into the sewer, and I will point my gun in the direction of the man who has his back to Haverford in case Haverford decides to shoot. Uh,
Okay.
I can now. Question for you:
What you got?
holding an action, is that something that can be done or no?
I haven't uh I I was debating. I was debating on like if I wanted to just one action and save it for the next turn.
Right.
I haven't decided yet. What do you think? What's your opinion on it? Do you like them or do you not like them?
I mean, I don't mind held actions, but what I tell my characters is give me a trigger. What's going to trigger your held action? And then your held action is only good till the end of this turn. You
Yeah.
can't carry it into the next turn because I don't want characters stacking 2, 3, 4 actions.
That's where
But,
that was my fear.
yeah.
So if
So
you just put that caveat, be like you
yeah.
can hold it to the end of this turn.
Yeah. So
I'm
so
fine
what
with
I
that.
was thinking was because I'm not certain what Haverford's going to do,
Yeah.
and I've got the children, I've got the nanny, but I mean, obviously, I want Lord Haverford to get out safely as well. So I'm going to point my gun in the direction of this man. He has his gun on, and then if Haverford takes the shot, I'll go ahead and shoot the guy as well.
Okay, I like that. So yeah, you'll save that action for the rest of the turn. Um, he pulls his gun.
Hmm.
Now that he sees Haverford has pulled his gun,
Hmm.
and he shouts for this one to duck.
Okay.
Um, I lost crap. I lost my rotation. I'm gonna leave him. He's not a strong-willed individual. He's
Hmm.
gonna stay where he's at.
Okay.
Um, he is gonna turn and pull his. He has a knife, a dagger on him.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it. Actually, I have this. Where's this character? I'm gonna need that in a minute. He has a ferryman knife, which is like a large knife.
Okay.
It does 5 damage, so it doesn't do anything crazy. He pulls a ferryman knife out, uh, and I'm gonna have. So this will Haverford's action will be the end of the turn.
Okay.
So Haverford can go, and then man, that's the end of the turn starts your turn.
Okay.
So your stack it's a bit of a stack. So you'll have 3 turns at the end of his turn. You can use your action at any point in time, but he's going to go and fire on this guy.
Okay.
Let me get
Yeah. If he fires, then I'll fire because that was going to be the trigger for me. Was if he fired, then I'll shoot at the guy too.
Let's do that. I'm going to roll. He's going to roll 1d20. It's oh my god, it's 0. Which makes sense. Lord
Yeah.
Haverford is not good with a gun. 0 versus 10. So I got to roll. I got to roll 11 or up. A 12. And
Nice.
he hits him,
Okay.
but barely. He definitely grazed him. Still into the same amount of damage. It's I guess it's okay. So 33. So it does 5 damage on that guy. So he shoots and does 5 damage. He gets a second round, but yeah, he gets second round. I'm gonna have him shoot again unless you want to shoot in between.
I'll shoot in between because
Okay.
that would be my trigger the second he shot. So I'll shoot
His,
at that guy as well.
his constitution's 10.
All right. So I rolled a 17.
Oh yeah, you hit.
Yeah.
Okay, and your damage is 5 as well, so that's 10.
Yep.
Oof. Wow. All right, so Haverford's gonna shoot again. Let's see what happens. 19.
Nice.
I like it. Okay, so that's another. So that guy, he is on the ground bleeding out.
Okay.
The cool thing about Carl, I'll go and interrupt. I'll go and side drink real quick.
Mhm.
Death in this game, since we brought up before,
Mhm.
it's a very real thing.
Right.
But I did put some safeguards. There's a few cool stuff that's a little bit historically accurate,
Okay.
just to give players a little bit more of a chance. You're not quite dead till you hit -10.
Okay.
The way it works, and it's consecutive stacks on. So if you hit 0 to, I didn't memorize this. I have it written down in the handbook.
Okay.
I think it's 0 to 4.
Mhm.
You bleed out from 5 to I think 5 5 to 9 is organ failure,
Mhm.
and then 10 is death.
Okay.
And so the problem is when you enter bleed out, if you get anywhere between 0 and -4,
Mhm.
every one of your turns is a -2 damage because you're bleeding out.
Right.
That stacks on to the no, actually, I think it transfers over to -3 when you enter into organ failure. So
Okay.
it's rapid. So you really only have two. If you hit below 0, depending on how much damage you took, if you're at 0, you have about 3 turns before you're dead for
Okay.
someone to get over there to help you. But the
Okay.
problem is with profuse bleeding, a bandage will raise your health points above 0, but it's an effect, so you're still bleeding out. You actually have to use a physician's bandage. There's a bunch of items that actually heal these particular things, so
Okay.
it's not easy. So even if you I try my best to help characters stay alive, but
Right.
I didn't do them any favors. And
Well,
so
and you know, it makes it more realistic. I
yeah,
like that concept because, like I said, one of the things about 5e that I have found with characters that know the system, know that you've always got your healing word, you've always got spells and potions and long rests and short rests, and it kind of breeds in my mind this video game mentality
yeah,
of
yeah,
I'm going to run into the guns, and if I get shot to pieces and I go down, that's not a big deal. There's always somebody nearby that has the ability as a bonus action to heal me.
yeah,
So I'm up next round, and to me it kind of sets up in my mind kind of a false sense of mortality.
yeah.
If there's no fear of death, then there's not really any real payoff in my mind.
Exactly, exactly. It doesn't make you and it changes the way you play. You're more strategic. I know people like to rush in. There's infection because it's the 1800s. There's infection in this
Oh
game,
yeah, which
and
killed
and
more
the
people than gunshot wounds.
I know, and the way I wrote it to make it work, and this is for longer campaigns, but if you go 24 hours with your health below half, 50% or whatever that is,
Mhm.
uh, infection sets in. Now
Oh yeah.
there's iodine bandages, and if you have they can give you iodine to cure infection. But if you consistently stay, I think maybe it might actually have been 12. I
Mhm.
think I moved it to 12 hours, which is a long time. But if you were running a long campaign and they're traveling for days,
Mhm.
and you do get attacked by wolves,
Yeah.
you might die before you even get there without seeing anyone else. just
Yeah, it makes
just by
sense.
being there.
I mean,
So
it's realistic. So
yeah, I try to make this. There's amputation in this game too that'll save you from infection,
okay.
but your character's there's no potion to bring that back. Your
Yeah.
character is missing a leg now, and
Yeah.
so
And
that's
it makes perfect sense. That's the way
yeah.
it should be.
I
So
think it's a lot funner than that. Anyway, back to the game. So he is down to 2. He's breathing. He
mhm.
is on the ground. With that shot, you have 2 more actions. It's your turn now.
With my first action, I am going to blow the whistle
Okay.
to summon Richard.
All right. Richard's gonna. He is so close on the scene. He's already around the corner. Right
Okay.
there.
Then I'm going to shout, "Get Lord Haverford out of here!"
Okay.
And then with my second action, I am going to shoot towards the back corner of the carriage where I know the Bobby had taken cover. Not really so much to hit him, but more to kind of intimidate him and force him to keep cover.
I love that. We're gonna use. I'm gonna leave that as a 1d20.
Okay.
That's a pretty accurate shot. So we're gonna make that a 10.
Okay.
To get that. So add roll a 1d20. You got to get above a 10.
Okay. 14.
Okay, so you did. You shot and it hit the side of the carriage, which is great because you can notice he ducks back down,
Okay.
which is phenomenal because it's his turn next and he was about to run out.
Okay.
Um, uh, so instead he has his gun out. He's gonna shoot at Haverford.
Okay.
Come on, Haverford. Haverford hasn't taken any damage yet.
Don't think
He got
everybody.
pushed down.
Yeah. So he got pushed down, and then the
Yeah,
bullets been flying at me, but that's fine.
yeah. The push down, I'm gonna give because that's an on. I have grab on here. I don't have push down. I will say punch. I'll give him. It was a jab, so I'll give him a -2 damage on that one.
Okay.
So Haverford's got a low damage. All right, so he's down to 14. Um, okay, so this guy's gonna shoot at Haverford. His Constitution's where does character go? What do you do about all the papers when you DM?
I take up a fairly good amount of table space, and when I go for my paid games on Friday, I actually carry a fold up table with me, and
Nice.
it goes to
Okay.
the side of me, so I have room for all of my paperwork. And then
Okay.
the boxes that I carry my miniatures and everything else in, I kind of stack those on the other side. So I basically have kind of a U-shaped workspace because between the laptop, the DM screen, my dice, my miniatures, I've got stuff all around me.
All right. That makes me feel better. Okay. Thank you. I
Trust me,
appreciate
there's always
appreciate
and
that.
sticky notes abound. Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's the one thing I haven't done, and that's normally how I wanted to do my maps,
Yeah,
is through sticky notes,
yep,
since it's interactive on the table, so I can pull them as you walk or as you
yeah.
sight. You can see. He's got a 7, so I got it. This guy's got a 3. So 5 or above is a hit. 5.
Okay,
He hits, but I'm gonna lower, since that's dead on the threshold. I'm gonna lower the damage with that, so it's only gonna be 4 damage, not 5.
just gonna wings him. Okay,
Yeah, wings him. So he's down to a 10 HP. So he hits. Um, that'll be his second action, because his first action was to take cover from the bullet shot.
okay,
Um, I'm not gonna have him do anything. He's dying on the ground. Okay. It would be Richard's turn. He's gonna run. Um, he's gonna go halfway, and I'm gonna have him use a cause fear. I'm gonna have him use a cause fear against that guy.
okay.
It was just going to be pretty easy. This is like I got to roll a 1d20. Let me do this real quick. 1d. I got to get above a 4, and it's a 9. That was off camera. It was 9. All right, so he causes him fear. So he he starts to back up, and he runs away.
Okay.
He runs over to here. I'm gonna say he cowers behind the door. Um. So all there's left is your turn, and he has 2 HP. He's bleeding on the ground, coughing, but he's still awake.
Yep.
He has a gun in his hand, but he's shaky. He can't get an aim on him. So
Okay.
I'll give you a whole nother round. He's gonna forfeit his round.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I will again shout at Richard to get Lord Haverford out of here, get him to safety. I have the nanny and the children, and then I'm going to basically just have my gun, and I will be aiming in this general direction where the guy is down, and I know that one guy. I don't know if that one guy's still cowering out there. I know that Bobby ran away, but
Yeah.
just aiming in that general direction, because if anybody sticks their head out, I'm going to take a shot to kind of cover Richard and Lord Haverford.
I like that idea. All right, so I'm gonna go. He sacrifices his turn. Sorry about that.
It's good.
Lord Haverford walks up, and you can tell he's visibly shaking to the guy. He pulls his gun. He's going to fire. I'm going to give it to him. It's not like he can miss. No, I'm going to make sure if he rolls a critical one, here you go, Carl. If he rolls a 1, he
Yep.
misses.
Okay.
Although let's raise it. He's a bad shot. So let's say 4 and above, he misses.
Okay.
Or 4 under 4, he misses. 14.
Okay.
He takes a killing blow. Shoots him dead. So this guy's dead by that point in time. I mean, he's shaking. Richard runs up, grabs him, and starts to pull him away. So they're moving to safety.
Okay.
This guy runs off. He's dead. Carriage. So we are fairly complete. So they're going to run to safety.
Okay.
Of course, the children and all that are in the sewer.
Right.
But we're not in confrontation mode anymore. This guy's dead. I'm gonna let you do whatever you want.
So what I would
come
do
to
in
a
that
close.
case, if there seems to be no more danger, Haverford and Richard are out of harm's way, I would beckon Mary and the children to come back up out of the sewer.
Like it? Okay.
And I would load them into the carriage and then
Okay.
drive them back home.
All right. I'm gonna have you load them into the carriage. Let's say they load in the carriage. And you wheel the carriage back over to Haverford. They load Haverford because he's been shot a few times.
Yeah, we'll load him.
And Richard's going to take the carriage. He's going to take the carriage.
Okay.
Out of here.
Okay. Yeah.
But one more thing.
I'll let him drive, and then I could use my my nandage to try to patch up the wound on Lord Haverford to kind of try to stabilize and keep him from bleeding out until we can get him to medical care.
I like that. So before they leave, you're gonna go over there. I'm gonna let you use your bandages. Honestly, you can't. It's +5.
Okay.
He's down. He's down to 7. So if you use a bandage, he's pretty good. He didn't get that far down. He's almost back up to full health.
All right. Do we
You
roll a
said
D10 or a D20 to apply that? Or do we?
no. Not with your bandages. I'm gonna
Okay.
let you just do it. Here's the thing, and I'll ask your opinion on this. I had heal as a skill
Hmm.
where it would be anytime you apply bandages.
Okay.
But the thing is, I wasn't sure if I wanted that accessibility to every character or only to science and investigation and maybe military.
I
What are
would
your thoughts?
I would agree with you. I mean, we're talking about Victorian era England. The literacy rate was not great. Most people didn't really have a formal education. So I would say, unless they're military, which obviously just out of necessity they would learn it, or science, or perhaps investigation, I would say, yeah,
Those are
I
the
would
3.
limit it to those. And then, if you wanted to say if it's out of combat, you're just applying the bandages. But maybe if it's during combat, like you're trying to do battlefield triage with bullets flying or something,
That's a good
you
idea.
make a roll to see how well they do with it.
I think I might do that then because I had it on the option. I don't think it's in the manual. I had heal as a skill, but I was like,
Mhm.
it'll be one of those I only apply to certain people or certain
Yeah,
studies.
I
I
think
think
that
that's a great idea, Carl. I appreciate that. I think that's what
I
I'll end up
think it makes
doing.
perfect sense.
I'm gonna have you bandage him up, and he's looking good in the carriage now. Before they leave, because he's okay, and the kids are all hugging. This is a happy ending. Richard's up on the carriage. um, she steps out of the carriage,
Mhm.
uh, and Richard has her umbrella, so she takes the umbrella, and she has a bag with her. We're just gonna pretend like she had the bag the whole time.
Okay.
She walks up and gives you a hug.
Okay.
And says that was wonderful. I very much appreciate that. Um, roll a. This is where we're gonna change gears real quick.
Okay.
Roll a 1d6. I think you'll like this.
Okay. 1d6. 4.
Do you like bowler hats?
I don't see why not. They were fashionable at that time.
Right. So she's gonna put her bag on the ground,
Hmm.
and she's gonna reach in, and she's gonna pull out a very tall lampshade. She's gonna
Okay.
set that down. She reaches in, pulls out some larger polar like bowling, not bowling pins, like I forgot what they're called. Anyway, she sets those down, larger things that shouldn't be in a bag. And she pulls out a bowler hat.
Okay.
And she dusts it off and she hands it to you and says, "This is yours." So you get this bowler hat. And
Okay.
because of how you played this, we're gonna do it's gonna be made out of felt. What color do you like?
You know what? Let's do a heather gray.
Heather gray. If I put, yeah, we'll do heather gray. That's fine. I don't think I have gray as category in the book. I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
We'll say gray. We're going to do a +2
Okay.
to sneak.
Okay.
And if you had your choice, what would you add a +2 to?
With that hat, I would say I would add a +2 to my cause fear.
Um,
Or if that's
what about psych? What about a +1 to psychological attacks?
oh, I like that. Let's do that. +1 to psychological.
This is your personal hat.
Okay.
This actually, it's not all that this is. So every beta tester I do a few things with, but this is actually made this quest specifically for this. But I'm gonna finish the story out. Change
Sure.
the hat. It's gray. It's a bowler hat. It's yours. And
Okay.
while you're looking at it, she begins to walk off this direction. She opens the umbrella, and she flies away. The hat,
Okay.
yeah, right. She flies away. She's Mary Poppins, by the way.
Got it.
That's who that was.
Nice.
This hat, because this is what I can do because it's my own game and I'm creating it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna put this hat in the official manual as an item, but you
Okay.
get to name it.
Okay.
So it's your item that you helped make. Bowler hat, gray, +2 to sneak. The only reason I had sneak is because you did a lot of that this game.
Okay.
And we're gonna add one psychological. I'll take care of pricing and all that. But what would you want? This is gonna be in the official manual. So when
I like,
all the items come out, this will be there.
well, you know what? The name goes along with it. I'm gonna say Basil's Bowler.
Basil's bowler. I love it. Basil's bowler. Perfect, sir. She flies away. You just save Mary Poppins and all of them right off. It's a happily ever after. That's the end of this one shot. How do you feel about that?
I like it. I kind of see Basil as they ride away. He kind of adjusts his bowler, takes out his long stem pipe, and he will
Yes,
light it,
yes.
and he will smoke it as he hums a tune, and he kind of walks off into the fog.
You are officially sponsored by Lord Haverford too, by the way.
Oh, excellent! I like it.
You would have 30. That's it, man. Well, there's one other thing. Do you want to loot this dead body in the street, or do you
You
want to leave
know,
it
I will. I'll see if
there?
he's
Well,
got any coin on him or anything of interest, something that would identify who he was.
I like that. Okay, go over to. We're gonna go over to him, and then you're gonna roll a search.
And I will
Um,
use my magnifying
1d10.
glass when I do so.
Oh my lord, that's even better. All you got to roll a 1d10, get a 2 and above.
Okay. 5.
You got
So,
a 5.
yep,
Uh,
5 on
he
the die.
has perfect. He has 2 pence.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, 2 pounds. 2 pounds, and I gotta stop using pence. I changed the currency. It's 2 pounds. On him, he has a flask of whiskey.
Mhm.
Which a flask of whiskey? I have that written down. I think it's a plus to Constitution actually.
Okay.
A cigar, a gold pocket watch.
Mhm.
Gold ones are pretty pricey too, so that's good loot. And then he has a note in his inner pocket. Since you rolled a 5, I'll give you the note.
Okay.
He has a note in his inner pocket, a piece of paper. You pulled it out.
I am going to take that out and make my way over to a gaslight where I can see a little bit better, and I'm going to read it.
All right, we'll move you over here. You open the note, and it's a handwritten note, and it looks like it was written in a hurry.
Mhm.
And it says to Luther Hess and the Indigo Hares, I, Edward Marwood, write with a heavy heart of wrath. You have my coin and my word. Do as we agreed. Take Haverford's children and their nanny and hold them until the ransom is met. Demand 100 pounds as he will proclaim he does not have it. When Haverford comes to Whitechapel alone and is instructed and fails to pay in full, let your blades find his heart. Let him pay for my father's death with his own. His children and nanny are not to be harmed. They are but pawns in a game of vengeance. Do this, and I will ensure you get double the reward. Leave no trace of our dealings, lest my name be stained. Burn this note. Signed, E.M. Yeah, there you go.
Did not trust him from the get go.
Nah, he was sneaky. He was definitely sneaky. This story goes on.
Mhm.
Um, and I change hero and villain quite often. And
Okay.
so from right now, it definitely seems like he was a villain.
Mhm.
That might change in a little bit, but either way, you saved the day. You got the hat. That's it, man. That's it. You
Okay.
saved the day.
That's great stuff.
Basil.
It was a
Basil
lot of
nailed
fun.
it. Basil.
It's a
Thanks,
lot.
man. I appreciate that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Flintlock and Fog. Hopefully, you enjoyed the episode. You can go and like and subscribe on whatever you're listening to this on or watching this on. And if you want to find out more about the game, you can go to flintlockandfog.com. There, you can sign up for the newsletter for any updates as the game's being developed. But you can also sign up, become a beta tester. There, you get all kinds of fun stuff for free. The player's manual for free as a download, maps, items, and everything that comes out as it comes out. But anyway, appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you back here next time. Thanks.